Hello and welcome to ARK, the complete series. For this playthrough we're going all the way from the island to Scorched Earth to Aberration, and then from Aberration we finally go all the way to Extinction, which is back on Earth. Now where I last left off, this little hut that I've got, if you will, it was all thatch. So just before I signed off for the night, I converted everything over to wood, and I came outside and I put all these spiked walls down, and that was it. Then basically left, came back a few days later just to check on things, make sure everything was okay. And there was a Therizino outside these spike walls. It was thrashing away, and the little dillos were trying to defend it, but you know they couldn't get to it, and which was quite fortunate really against a Therizino. So I mean the Therizino was pretty much doing most of the damage to itself by getting, it was taking quite a lot of damage from the spike walls, which was, so I'm really glad I would actually put all these things down. But I managed to finish it off with a bow, so I was quite lucky to have logged in just literally the time that was trying to attack the place. So then, from all that, I managed to get quite a few levels, so I made myself some things. I've got now like bows, and I've got some leather armor. But I left that a few days again and came back to basically start recording, and needed some more food for everybody. The plan was to basically head up there, because if you look where that tree is up there, right up towards that area there, the big plateau if you will, the goal is to build a base over there, because I've got like the long-term picture in mind, which is I'm going to need a massive amount of room. The imprinting system hasn't changed yet. I still need lots of dinos for the kibble to tame things, kibble to imprint things, and I now need to focus on getting things like T-Rexes and Gigas. The T-Rexes, I'll be using those in the boss fights on this map, but then they'll be used on other maps, and the Gigas I'll be saving for Extinction and so on. So I'm gonna have to need a really big area to do it on, and that plateau is pretty much ideal for doing it. So yeah, the plan is basically I'm gonna start quite small. I mean I've put this place down just to kind of give me somewhere to protect myself for when I'm logged out. But the goal now is really to start focus on building a base over there. So I went out there with a parasaur with Techie here. We went over there with the dillos. Yeah, as you can see, the dillos are gone. Basically, we took out a raptor, and then there was a Troodon there. So I thought, oh, I'll just get them to take the Troodon out, because I wanted to clear the area altogether. But unfortunately, those were quite low-level dillos, and it was getting quite late at night. Another couple of Troodons turned up, and next thing you know, that was it. The whole lot had gone. So yeah, that was a bit of a dumb idea. So now all we've got left is Techie here, and I can see I'm running out of food and I'm running out of water. Let's see. Have you got? I think I'll put all these away. But where we're at, we've leveled up quite a bit because of what we've done. I mean, I've made myself, I've got a bow now, and I've made myself some arrows. Because of what we've been doing on the leveling side and crafting, because we get quite a few XP from just basically doing the whenever you craft things and whenever you're making the narcotics, for instance. So I've progressed quite a bit. I mean, I've hardly done much since, but I've been able to make myself some leather armor because I've got some XP for that. Once I'd learned all those, I then started putting points into things like the forges, and I've just been able to get up to a level where I've now learned trank arrows, so I can start taming bigger things. But I don't have enough points to be able to learn these. There's no point learning these yet until I've got the smithy. So because I've lost the dillos, I need another little pack to take out. Oh, sorry. I thought that was a Troodon. I mean, me and Techie had to make a cowardly retreat, and we jumped off that little edge there. Yeah. Fortunately, that's an Oviraptor, so that's not a big problem. What I'm going to do, I've got no meat, I've got no hide, I've got nothing left now because the dillos are gone. I'll get rid of these. I don't need these. You can hold on to these for now. We're okay weight-wise. I'm just going to put my little fence back. But we need to go out and get some water, get some food. And I think what I'll do is I'm going to have a look. Let's see how much XP have I got. I'm not too far off leveling because I need a... Basically what I want to get myself is a trike. We're past the level where we need a trike saddle, but I need to level up again so that I can learn a trike saddle, and maybe that might help me clear that place out from the Trudons because the trike's got a good knockback. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to basically go out. I want to level up a bit more, so what I can do is I can make arrows so I can get XP from them. So arrows, they need let's see, to make those. Fibre, flint and thatch. Well, I can get the thatch. I've got tons of thatch because of the parasaur there. Fibre's pretty easy to pick up and what have you. Flint I can get easy. I've just chop the stone with the little pickaxe that I've got, and that'll help me get more arrows, and then I can get XP from them. I can then convert them over to trank arrows because Techie here can get a load of narcotics for me, and then we'll get XP from making the narcotics. So I'm just going to basically just do some leveling up until I've got myself a trike saddle, and we're going to go out and look for a trike. So, I should be back shortly. Well, I've managed to get myself some food and water, and I just came out actually down here, and there is a trike already here. Actually, it's a level 100, which isn't actually all that bad. I've got myself an extra bow, and I've got some trank arrows, so... I mean, that thing, it's level 100 out of a potential 150, and I'm just mindful there's a lot of these ichthyes flying around in the area which I don't want to run into. I'm just a bit bothered if that thing suddenly decides to run. It probably will. Just depends on how many arrows I end up having to use up, but I don't know if it'll be able to run up here, so I've just put Techie there on passive for now, but I'm still a good way off being able to... Yeah, I won't get much out of that if I hit it in the head, which isn't ideal, to be honest. Can I hit you in the paw? Oh! Ow, 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 ow! Let's see if I can get up here. Can you get up here? Oh, yes you can! Oh no! That wasn't ideal. No! I should have been looking for like a better environmental place, you know, use the environment against it. I thought I wouldn't be able to get up there, to be honest. Oh wow, that hurt. Oh right, well that's handy. It's handy, but it's not handy. It's not handy because I've got an ichthy coming at me now. But it's handy, and I think that trike's got itself stuck. So I'll use that against it. Right. I'll just have some food because that can heal me a bit. Let's see if I can hit that trike. Oh, that's extremely handy because it's got itself stuck. I was pretty sure it wouldn't be able to get up the actual up the rock, but it managed to hit me. Right, looks like it's running. Don't run into the water. Seriously, dude, do not run into the water. Yeah, so if I can hit it in the side, it'll be better for me. I don't want to hit you in there, man. Is that still stuck, or has it just lost interest? Ah, see, I don't want to hit it in the... It's got better armor and better defense from the front. I want to be able to hit... Can I hit you in the leg? Nope, I can't even hit you at all. It's kind of weird. It's kind of stuck, but it's not stuck. I just hope... I hope I've got enough arrows, actually. It's that long since I've sort of like played it at such a low level. Come on. You gonna go down? Trouble is, it's gonna need like a lot of measure berries to tame as well. How come I'm hitting you over there? That's better. I might have to start converting some of these over to these arrows over to trank arrows. Aha! Right, so I didn't want to hit it. Once it goes down, I don't want to hit it at all. Because the problem is, if I cause any damage to it, or in fact if anything causes damage to it while it's tranked, the problem is it loses its taming effectiveness. And I mean, to be honest, I'm not going to get much like taming effectiveness anyway, because I'm going to have to tame it up using measure berries. I don't really have any. I don't see any gain until like starving it out, because it's a slow eater, and these things are going to spoil just as fast if I leave them on Techie here as if I leave them on the trike itself. So I'll just give you these measure berries. You go and munch on those. So it's going to take a fair while. I mean, wow, each one's about 2%. Oh, hang on. Let me get out of here, because if that thing suddenly decides to bite me, it might hit the trike as well. Right, well, I'm just going to get rid of these with my parasaur here, because that's going to be a heck of a long tame, that. So yeah, so I'm just going to have to basically keep an eye on it. Hopefully these ichthyes won't come in and cause me problems. But I should be able to come back with hopefully a tame trike. So I'll see you shortly. Okay, so no problems so far, and this thing's almost tamed. I mean, it's taken a while, and we're at about 97.4%, or we've just dropped to 97.3%, which isn't too bad. So we're going to get 48 levels out of it. So I'm not going to complain. I mean, one more feed, and then it should be done. I mean, during the day, what I've been doing is I've been swapping over to my cloth armor, because it's just getting too hot in this area. Then at night, I then started switching over to the leather armor, because once I learned leather armor, I started putting it on, but it's too hot. So, hang on. So yeah, I've been swapping over to that, but it's just too hot to wear it. And then got to the night time, it's too cold if I'm wearing that. I mean, I've only got the torch out because so I can see. I can't see a thing in here. But I've leveled up quite a few times, because I've been making some more arrows, making more narcotics. All the meat I've been getting, I've been spoiling it, so I can convert the narco berries that Techie finds. I can then convert those over into narcotics, you see. So I need all the spoiled meat from meat, so I just split it out. As soon as I've killed something, I'll just split the stack out, because otherwise it takes longer to spoil, because basically you've got a spoil timer there, and it means that one item on that specific stack will spoil. So to speed the process up and get much more spoiled meat, what I do is I split the stack out. So for instance, I'll just right click on that and tell it to split the whole lot out. Now all of those individual items are going to spoil at that same rate, so it means I'll get my spoiled meat back quicker. But I mean, this dude, I haven't done too bad actually, because it didn't need any narcotics to knock it out. Oh, so you've leveled up already. Tell you what, give you a name. Got to give you a name, haven't we? I'm going to call you oh, hang on. Let's call you Terry. You'll be Terry the Trike. There you go, Terry. Right, so I want to put a bit more health into it. It's got a reasonable amount of weight. I just want to keep pumping the health up on it for now, because I want to use this for. Well, I want to see if I can use it much against the Troodons. The trouble is, I'm actually staying away from the base at the moment now that it's night time, because there's Troodons out and about, and they cause a heck of a lot of damage. Come on, Techie. I want my torch back. Come on. So yes, I mean, that tamed up quite well, really. I'm quite pleased. It didn't need any more narcotics, and it was just a slow process of taming it on the narco berries. But I'm going to stay around here for now, because as I say, I noticed some of those Troodons had come down from the plateau. I think I must have lured them down at some point, and they cause a lot more damage. They're nocturnal, and they cause a heck of a lot more damage at night. But since then, I've been able to level up, which is good. So what I've been doing is I've been putting the points that I've had into, let's see, what was it? Well, we got the trike saddle. That was one of the first things I wanted. I've been putting them into fence foundations as well, because when I build a base this time, I want to build myself a base, and then I want to build a big wall around the area to basically keep things out. Because, I mean, if you've got those spiked walls, I mean, like I had with the Therizino, that just simply wandered into the base and that took everything out. Or at least it obviously saw a target and decided to attack the base. Whereas if I've got the walls, I can hide from anything. At least that's the plan anyway. What else did we learn? We've now got the smithy, and I've learned the tools, so I'm quite keen to start looking for metal. Now there are some river rocks down by the actual river, you know, the inlet, the outlet down there. Just down there to my right, there are some actual river rocks, so I can start mining those, and if I can get the metal off those, I won't get much out of the stone pick, but once I get over to the metal I can get quite a lot more. And then at some point we need to start going out and about, looking for actual metal. And I've got a rough idea where there is some in this area, but my goal at the moment is really just to get that base built and to get I'll have to get it cleared out first. Just trying to think of, was there anything else that I learned? Right, so we were getting into like fur armor. We're up to the point where we can start learning stone, but I don't have the engrams, so that's something else that would be even better to get stone walls, because there's very few things can get through stone walls. I don't see much point in progressing into metal walls at all. I've done that before when I was in the hidden valley because I wanted to keep giggers out. But I think I'll probably go so far as stone. So I'm just seeing what else we'll probably start venturing into after this. So there'll be the sloped walls. Because of where I'm at, I'm going to have to rely on the water from the rain. So at some point I'll start getting the reservoirs and the taps as well, all the piping, so that way I can get my water to do all my crops from the rain, store it in some water tanks, and then I can start making the crops that I'll need. And that'll be better for when I want to tame the herbivores, but I also need it anyway for the kibble. And then that's what I'll start focusing after that. Storage, I could do a better storage as well. Don't need adobe. That doesn't work until you get to scorched earth anyway. It's only showing up because of the potential for S+. Compost bins, so there's quite a few things still to learn, but what I'm going to do for now, I'm just going to pause this off because I'm waiting for the morning, and then I'm going to see if I can find these trudons to clear out, so I shall be back shortly. Okay, so we're making good progress now. We've actually got ourselves all the way up to level 30 now, if you'd believe it. I've managed to get some wood foundations in, 6x5, and I've got my fence foundations running along the outskirts in nice symmetry. I've got myself a gateway as well. I had to place the gateway by hand because it wouldn't snap to the fence foundations, and I mean that'll do for now. I mean there is a way to get things like the behemoth ones to snap to fence foundations, but that's something we'll be doing later down the line. So that's pretty much about the sort of like the height we'll be putting the walls to, but it means going out and gathering a lot more wood to do that. And that's going to take a while, basically, because I'm still on the stone tools. I'm not quite at the stage where I'm going to go out and get the metal. I mean, there's like a load of ichthyes down there causing mayhem and mischief down there because they keep stealing things off you. So basically, I do want to get onto the metal tools, but I'm just kind of like, I'll just stay clear of them for the moment until I want to focus on the metal. But anyway, I mean, I did have some problems actually placing these things down. I started off building these wood foundations out about here, but then I was getting errors saying, you can't place your structure here. So at first I was thinking, well, maybe it's maybe there's like a loot crate that comes down and we're getting in its way. So I thought, well, okay, I mean, I'll move the foundations a bit further out. And I'm glad I did in a way, because this grass that you get growing here, it doesn't disappear when you place a foundation on top of it, and it looks pretty unsightly to me. I don't like it at all if it's growing up through your foundations. I mean, you can get around it by building like pillars and then building your houses on top of pillars, but I prefer it when it's nice and tidy like this. So yeah, I mean that was kind of like just scratching my head there, but then I ran into the same thing with the pillars, not just in that area there, not the pillars, sorry, but the fence foundations. I had that problem back there, and then I ran into the same problem down here, so I started moving them further out, but as I moved them further out I started getting more, the same sort of problem. I would take away, like, if say I was coming in from the left hand side and I was building them, putting them down on the right, I think I got to a point round about here where I tried placing one and I got that error message where the fence foundation wouldn't place, so I took away the left one, and then I found I could place the actual fence foundation freely. So I was really getting puzzled as to what the problem was, but then I did a bit of searching, and what it is, it's to do with the placement collision detection system that's on this game. The idea is that, say you want to build something and there's already something in the game, the idea is you shouldn't be able to build on top of it. So there's an example. I mean, say I want to build a wall off of this rock. I can't build my fence foundation into the rock. I can only place it just slightly to the side of it. And it ends up looking pretty unsightly, to be honest. Now S Plus, when it first came out, it actually disabled that collision system. And you could literally place the fence foundation right into the wall, which then allowed you to put your panels up, and they'll be nicely lined up with the things like these big rocks, for instance. And then Wildcard then introduced that as a switch, if you will, into the game itself. So S Plus took that away. And it's a case of, well, if you want to set it yourself in the server, because you can do that. And I completely forgot about that. So I updated the settings, rebooted the server, and sure enough, that's resolved my problem. So it must be, I think it's because if you look, there's like lots of little stones dotted around on the floor, and some of the fence foundations are actually hitting those. Now I can't pick them up, so it's a case of they're kind of like permanent features. So I'll just double check. Yeah, see, I can't pick that up. So that's what was causing the problem, it would seem. So that's all resolved now. So that's brilliant. Makes my life a lot easier and keeps everything nice and tidy. The other thing was I wanted to get the fence foundations lined up with the actual floor foundations, and when I first tried it, I couldn't get a fence foundation to snap to the side of one of these floor foundations. So what I did is I would get one to snap on top of the actual floor foundation, and then the next fence foundation would snap to that fence foundation. So then I was able to run it out to a gap of about 4, and then I could come off at a 90-degree angle and start building my fences out. I mean, it might be a coincidence, but I've now found that since then I can actually snap to the actual side of the fence foundation. It may well be it was just, you've got to be pretty, you've got to fiddle around a bit to actually get things to find that snap point you're looking for, because there's lots of snap points. But now I'm finding it does actually line up straight away, and I could actually place one of these fence foundations right down. I mean, I'll just pick one up just to show you what I mean. So let's pick that one up there. I'll put that in that slot there. So if I put that there, that's actually lining up with the floor foundation. Now I didn't notice it doing that, and it's working very easily, whereas it wasn't doing that before. It's only since I've disabled that collision detection feature. So before, basically, I was putting one there, and then I'd get it to snap. Then the next one would then snap going that way. So yeah, I'm only just making assumptions that it's resolved that issue as well. Because I mean, basically, I was putting these floor foundations in. I'd put the outer edges in, and then I started filling the center, and I was just getting all sorts of problems. And it was just because of the collision detection system. But anyway, now that's all resolved. I mean, in terms of this character, I mean, I've learned quite a lot more things. I mean, mostly I've been dealing with things like the slope walls and the window frames, slope roofs, because I'm going to be needing them. But the plan now is I'm just going to go back out. I need a lot more wood to build a lot more walls. And then once I've got this all in place, I'll bring you back. Well, I guess that's it for this video. I've actually managed to set out what I aim to achieve. It took a long time to do it, but we've now got ourselves a base where we can start doing our crafting, our cooking and so on. I mean, it's just the actual structure itself. I need to start getting metal to start making things. I've had to increase the height of the wall because at the back, because the ground's uneven, the wall at the back would have been too low for my liking. So at least it's 3 high at the back. It's about 4 high now at the front. I mean, I remember when I first did this in like vanilla, it was an absolute pain in the neck just using their sort of like wall structures to do this sort of stuff. Whereas with the S Plus, it's an absolute breeze having these proper fence supports. Keeps everything even. You don't have your fences going up and down, up and down. So in terms of what we've really achieved, and as I say, we've got the structure in place for the house. At the back, I've put myself in some like refining forges. I had a bit of metal, so I'm starting to smelt that. I'm going to reserve the left-hand side over here for where I'll be doing the crop growing. I mean, it's a good while before I'll be able to learn like the greenhouse glass, but I'm going to put some foundations in, and then at least I can start putting crop plots down and growing some vegetables. Inside, I've put the ceilings in just to tidy it up a bit. I want to be able to make use of that floor space above, but because we've got these sloped roofs, it means I can't like put in like stairs to get there. So I'm gonna have to wait until I've learned the trapdoor maybe to take advantage of about 2 widths, which I mean it's fair enough. I mean that's a reasonable size. At least I can put the bed in there. I mean I've got myself some storage. I've brought the mortar and pestles over. I've got a bit of storage over by the side of the door so that I can leave things like the tools and clothing, just the things that I'll regularly use as I go out and about. I've got a preserving bin in there, but I mean you need oil, spark powder and so on to make use of that to get your jergies. Because it's a 6 wide building, I've had to put 2 doors in, so I've put in double doors. If you notice, I've got the wood inside out, but I think there's enough space over here because I'll be putting irrigation in and I'll bring water in here, so I'll probably use part of this side for doing things like the cooking. Over here I'll do the crafting. And as I say, I mean at some point I might have to increase the size, but it means I can bring it forward, and I can also widen it on the left hand side as well, and I'm free to keep expanding on the fence, because at some point I'll have to do tames, which means I want to keep them protected because I'll be offline, and I don't want things coming into the base and taking out my tames. So the idea would be just keep expanding the fence out over time as I bring more and more tames in. I mean I might even just build a separate enclosure over beyond this and then just put maybe like a gate in here, and then on the other side I'll have a bigger area which has got a big behemoth gate, for instance. I might do it that way. So I mean that's a thought. Just keeps it a bit easier. Say instead of having to keep expanding this fence, I could just basically build a separate enclosure altogether. But it all depends on how much room I'm going to need in here, because I'm going to be having things like the fabricator, the grinder and so on. So there's still a bit of scope in there to improve on this. I mean at the moment it's wood. There's nothing I know of in the area that can cause me damage. No like flies or anything that will come down, so I should be okay. I might at some point have to increase the height. I don't know. I don't think there's anything, as I say, particularly dangerous around here that's gonna give me any grief. I mean I'll probably convert it over to stone at some point, but that's about it. But that's it basically for this video, because we've set out what we aim to do, which is to get ourselves a better base, a proper base where we'll have a permanent presence to protect ourselves with a big wall. The good thing is all of that resource gathering and crafting, it means we're actually level 39. We're not too far off level 40. And that's just basically, I think, in part because I was using stone tools. I had to do that much, harvesting. I got a lot of points, experience points from that. If I had the metal tools, I'd have probably done it quicker. So it's kind of swings and roundabouts. I would have done it quicker with the metal tools, but I probably wouldn't have gotten as much XP. And at this stage of the game, XP is pretty much all I'm interested in, to be honest. So where I've been putting all the points so far is we're up to 150 health. The target for weight is going to be 350. Then I'm going to focus back on fortitude because I want to get that up to 30. Then I'll come back to here, get this up to 400. I'll probably push the health up to 200, and then after that I'll have a bit of a think of where I go after that. But we've learned tons of new engrams. One of them I'm really keen on is, I mean, we've actually learned how to make the long neck rifle. The only drawback is it's a long time before we'll be able to learn the darts. I mean, we're going to make the Yankelos saddle, a Deodicarus saddle at this level, but I'm still going to have to level up further to get more points that I can put into these. I mean, the ghillie armor is something I'm quite keen to be learning, but I've already taken advantage of the pteranodon saddle because that's something I really need to be able to go out and do recon and find myself metal deposits in particular. But anyway, just put my torch away now. It's starting to get a bit brighter. I'm really pleased. I mean, we've boxed ourselves off. I've taken away the old base. I repurposed it, brought some of the walls and foundations back here to make use of to build this place. So that's all gone now. We're all finished there. And this is going to be our permanent base going forwards. So I do hope you've enjoyed watching the video. Then if so, then do please leave a like, because that'll help me out a great deal. If you're new to the channel and you want to see more content, then yeah, do subscribe. Just remember to click the little bell icon, and then that way you'll get notifications for when new content comes out. And if you've got any comments, any suggestions, any feedback at all, do please post that in the comment section below. But until the next video, thanks very much for watching. Bye!